What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Friday. Last night was an absolute disaster. Starting off with the Grizzlies game, we had two guys in that game with Jermichael Green and Tyreke Evans, but then Kemba Walker just said, you know what, Austin, we're not going to keep this game close at all. I know you were on me the night before and I couldn't hit a shot, but tonight I'm just going to hit every single shot possible. The guy was on absolute fire. Hit 10 threes in that game. The Grizzlies lost by 60 points. Absolute punch in the gut from Kemba there because Jermichael Green and Tyreke Evans both had like 20 minutes in that game. And Tyreke Evans was playing very well when he was on the court, but he didn't see the court in the fourth quarter at all. So it was very disappointing there to kick off the slate. So with that, I was like, all right, definitely not a good start, but we got James Harden going on now. And then came out against the Pistons, and he couldn't hit a shot, went 4 for 20 in that game. The game went to overtime, and he still only got 45 DraftKings points, and that was without Chris Paul. So an absolute disaster of a game from James Harden in a good spot against the Pistons without Chris Paul. So that was very disappointing. But then I was like, all right, we still have Dennis Schroeder and Dwayne Dedmon going. They can make me save face a little bit here tonight. Then I get an alert that Dennis Schroeder is ruled out with rest. And I was like, are you kidding me? The DFS gods just absolutely kicked me in the balls yesterday. At least Willie Hernan-Gomez returned some good value as my cheap play. Dwayne Dedmon did all right. He got like 5 times value or something like that against Sacramento, which I was looking for. But of course, the Hawks' backup point guard, Isaiah Taylor, had a good night. So if Schroeder just played, he probably would have had a great night. But of course, we'll never know because the Hawks said, screw you, Austin, we're resting him. So absolute disaster of a night last night. I guess it's good that we got it all out of the way yesterday. So it's time to go here on this 10-game slate. Less games with these like tanking teams, so we can kind of avoid those teams better in this slate. Because half the teams on that slate yesterday were like tanking, like we saw with the Grizzlies losing by 60, the Hawks resting Schroeder against the Kings. So we're back here again on Friday, like I mentioned. I got my money six of my favorite plays for the night. So drop a like on the video if you're ready to go win some money here tonight. It should be a good one, and definitely subscribe if you haven't already. Around 20 subscribers away until I host that tournament. So let's just get into it here. I'm going to start off with Nikola Jokic, one of the better games on the slate with the Nuggets. It's a huge game for the Nuggets. They're currently on the outside looking in on the playoffs, so they desperately need a win here. And the Wizards, I guess they're kind of fighting for a better seed in the playoffs with this game. But Nikola Jokic has a solid matchup. On paper, it's not a good matchup against Gortat. Like, they've been pretty stingy against centers. But Gortat, he only gets around like 20 minutes per game, so Jokic could be fighting around like Markieff Morris down low, and I think Jokic is just too strong and big on the glass for their lineup when they got kind of that smaller ball here. And he had a solid game against them earlier this year, dropping 47 DraftKings points in that game, and he only got 9 rebounds. Could have got a double-double easily if he just got another rebound, obviously. And he's been playing very well recently. Without Gary Harris, he's kind of been more active on the offensive end, and they definitely need their star player to step up. And that's what Jokic has been doing against Chicago. In only 24 minutes, he dropped 37 DraftKings points. Against Miami, that game went to double OT. Still had a crazy good game, though, with 60 DraftKings points. Detroit, 69. He got 60 against Sacramento. So he's been having big games here and there, and I think this could be another big game for Jokic. I could easily see 50-plus DraftKings points in this game with a double-double, and he'll get the assist as well. That will be big for him if he can reach that next level of upside. So a 9,300, one of the better games of the slate. It should remain close throughout. I think Jokic will be that go-to guy for the Nuggets. And the Wizards, they play pretty good perimeter defense. So like Bradley Beal and Satoransky are pretty solid defenders. So I think Jokic could definitely be more active on the offensive end. So lock him in there. For my second guy, we're going to go with Victor Oladipo. I was on him the other night. Did okay, but seems like another game which should be competitive, close between the Clippers and the Pacers. Very similar to the Nuggets-Wizards game. Clippers are in the playoffs. No, I mean, out of the playoffs right now. They desperately need a win, and the Pacers are fighting for a better playoff seed. So I think Oladipo will definitely come out here in this game. I mean, on paper, when you look at the Clippers, you would think the best spot to attack them would be at the smaller forwards position or the shooting guard position. They've been playing pretty solid defense against the point guards. So I think Oladipo, his usage will be up again in this game, around 15 to 20 shots in this one. And the Clippers, I mentioned this the other night with, who was it, Aminu, whatever. They've been turning the ball over a ton. So I think Oladipo can get a few steals in this game. Just do his thing, kind of like score a good amount of points, get a block, a steal, maybe even 2 steals or something like that. A couple of rebounds, couple of assists. And he normally is better at home scoring the ball. The percentage doesn't show that, but I feel like earlier in the year he was playing better at home for whatever reason. Maybe he's kind of cooled down at home, but I think he'll pick it up here in this game against the Clippers. So 8,200, Victor Oladipo, lock him in there. I think he should go for 40 to 50 DraftKings points. And that one for my third guy, Josh Jackson. This kind of stems on if Devin Booker is playing or not playing. We should get word before the lock because they're playing at 7:30. But if if Devin Booker is playing, I'm going to just pivot to Josh Jackson. From Josh Jackson to Devin Booker. So definitely keep a lookout on that. If Devin Booker is playing, just pivot from Josh Jackson to Devin Booker because I think Booker will definitely have a big game there. But Josh Jackson, this is assuming that Devin Booker is out. His usage, mentioned this last game, just crazy the last couple of games. 19 and 23 shots the last 2 games. And against the Cavs, they definitely don't have any rim protection. So I think Josh Jackson can drive to the hoop and get some easy finishes there. So I think he'll be able to score over 20 points, honestly, if Devin Booker is out. Get some more rebounds and just kind of do his thing. And he's been kind of active on the defensive end as well with some blocks and steals. He got 4 steals against the Cavs a couple nights ago. So I think he'll have a bigger game here scoring the ball and just be more active. He's been playing a lot of minutes because they want to give this young rookie some good playing time to get accustomed to the NBA as much as they can at the end of the year. So I think Josh Jackson, a big game coming if Devin Booker is out. So keep a lookout on that. But at the moment, we're just assuming that he's going to be out, so lock him in there. But for my fourth guy, Jabari Parker at 5,400. Going against Chicago, Giannis doubtful for this game, and Jabari Parker, biggest kind of beneficiary to that. Earlier in the year, though, when Giannis was missing time, when Jabari Parker was out of the lineup when you still come back from that injury, Chris Middleton was the guy that really stepped up in a spot, but Middleton had a pretty decent salary bump. He's up to 8,400. Jabari Parker at 5,400. I just think that Jabari Parker is a better value at that salary. He has a much better floor and upside. He should be able to get around 30 minutes again in this game. 15 shots. He's a solid rebounder, as we've seen when he's been getting minutes. So I think he should be good for 30-plus drafting points, honestly, in this game. And Chicago has been very weak against the small forward, power forward position this year. So Jabari Parker, definitely in a good spot. And the little narrative is that he's from Chicago here. So returning back to Chicago in the middle of his comeback, where he's finally getting the minutes where he can show where he got what he has. So I think he's going to have a big game here tonight. So Jabari Parker, lock him in there. For my fifth and final guy, Deonte Murray at 5,500, going against Utah. Not a sexy game, so I think Murray can honestly go under-owned. And he honestly has kind of that upside in this game against Utah, considering that Utah and Ricky Rubio have been so bad against point guards recently. Just looking at the last 2 games, for a reference, we've seen J.J. Barea go for 40 DraftKings points last night against them, and also Dennis Schroeder go for like almost 60 DraftKings points against Utah. So the point guards have been very good against Utah recently. And when Deonte Murray is scoring, that's a recipe for success, because that's the only thing that really holds him back is the point totals. He's been getting solid rebounds, active on the defensive end with the steals, getting a few assists. Just when he scores like over 10 points, it seems like he's always returning value. He got 18 points against the Pelicans, 42 DraftKings points, 11 against Orlando, 29. 14 against Golden State, got 29. So when he's scoring over 10 points, he's normally returning good value on his salary, and he got a decrease in salary for this game at only 5,500. So I think he'll be able to get around 30 DraftKings points, and he can get up to 40, honestly. this game against Utah, and it could be kind of like it's going to be a slower paced game. That could mean some more missed shots in these lower scoring games and mean more possible rebounds for Deonte Murray. With him and Aldridge kind of the main rebounders, with Paul Gasol out of the lineup, he honestly could go for 10 rebounds again and get a double-double in this game, as weird as that might sound for a point guard. But he definitely has the capability of doing that. He almost has done it the last 2 games. I did against New Orleans. So Deonte Murray, good matchup, 5,500. Lock him in there. Not crazy upside, maybe more of a cash game play, but definitely a good play there. But that's the top 5. We got Oladipo, Josh Jackson. We'll switch that to Devin Booker if he is playing. Jabari Parker, Nikolai Jokic, and Deonte Murray. And for my dollar cheap play, the lottery pick, it's going to be Jerian Grant here at 3,800. Antonio Blakeney, the guy that was really stepping up on the bench for the Bulls, he's out for the season. So that means Jerian Grant, it's his time to shine after being in the starting lineup the whole entire year. The roles kind of reverse for whatever reason. Cameron Payne is in the starting lineup now. But their point guard and just guard depth in general is completely shot. So I think Jerian Grant could get at least 25 minutes in this game. I got Levine out, Chris Dunn out, and Antonio Blakeney. So I think Jerian Grant, like I said, should be good for 25 minutes. Not a bad matchup against the Bucks. They're not that great against guards. And Grant's been playing pretty well against them this year in 3 games, shooting very well. The minutes, okay, 23 minutes per game, but he's averaging 21 drafting points in those 3 games. With only 23 minutes, shooting very well. And he's been shooting better from the field at home. So a good spot for Jerian Grant. Not crazy upside, similar to Deonte Murray, but I think he can get to like 20 to 25 DraftKings points in this game. A nice little value at only 3,800, so lock him in there. So that is it, though. Gets you up to 5,400 remaining per player. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a like on the video if you did. 100 plus likes, I would greatly appreciate that. It really helps out my channel to get kind of more viewers and eyes on this kind of thing, so I can help you guys out. Definitely follow me on Twitter, though, at MoneyWebby, for any updates on the plays. As we know with these NBA kind of guys, you never know what the coaches are thinking. They might be like, hey, Josh Jackson, you're resting tonight, with my kind of luck, so you never know. But I'll update on Twitter, pivot to any other guys if I have to, like with Devin Booker is playing. Obviously, like I mentioned for 100 times, I'll pivot to him from Josh Jackson. And I might change up the build if any more value kind of opens up. Maybe I'll pay up for Westbrook or LeBron or anything like that. But that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you back here again tomorrow.